Hello guys, my name is Eddie Eshri and I'm back with another tutorial. Today I'm gonna talk about behavior subject in Angular. If you're into this kind of tutorials, please follow my LinkedIn or subscribe on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to best to share what I know. Before I'm talking about behavior subject in Angular, I want to share a simple project roadmap which includes a main component which is called app component, and this app component includes a child which is called menu or navbar component. Through this menu or navbar items we want to decide which component load in this app component. For example, with home router link, we want to load home component, and with profile router link, we want to load profile component. And this profile component also includes a child for uploading photo, which is called photo uploader. This is the structure of our project. If we want to communicate data between photo uploader and profile component, this would be really easy if we use input and output because they have a parent and child relation, and I'm sure you utilize it several times in your project. But how if we want change photo in upload photo component and see the results in navbar component? For example, by changing profile picture, your navbar picture changed too. I mean exactly this relation. This is not possible with input and output because they don't have a parent and child relation. So this is an issue for any-to-any component communication. We want to see solution. Now it's time to talk about behavior subject. Behavior subject is a type of subject which is observable. So what is subject? What is observable? Subject is an observer, so we can send value to it. And due to observable, we can subscribe to it and also can receive update. So by this definition, instead of this question mark, we can say service which has a behavior subject functionality can solve our problem. So we can handle this issue by behavior subject. So let's just jump to the code and prove this. I prepare a simple project about disease. If you remember our roadmap, we have a main app component, and due to this app component we have a child component which is called navbar component, this orange navbar. And due to this orange navbar we're gonna decide which component should load in app component through the router. This is gonna be, for example, edit profile. By this edit profile we are opening a profile component, or if we click on this DZ stack, it's going to load home component. If we back to profile component, if we go into this topics, now we are in photo uploader component. We want to say if we select file and update this photo, it should be update this photo in navbar too. So this is gonna be solved by behavior subject because they don't have a direct relation to each other. So let's just jump to the code and see how we can handle this with code. Alright guys, we have a photo uploader component, this component, and we have a nav component, and this is nav component. Uh, we should now going to add this service. Maybe we have out service in both, and we can add this functionality in this out service because in nav components we have out service, and in photo components we have this out service too. But I personally prefer to add a service for all behavior subjects. So let's just add the service together. Okay, I think we don't need this picture anymore. So I maximize my code, and we are going to our services, for example, out service, and here in these services I open in an integrated terminal, and let's just say nggs, and maybe call it behavior. We'll wait until this finish. Here we go. We are going to behavior service, and in this behavior service we are going to add our photo URL, and this photo URL is gonna be type of behavior subject. By auto import, it's gonna create behavior subject from RxJS. Photo URL is type of a string, so we add it as a string, and we should eliminate the extra code here. We should give it default value. I already have my photo in assets. Let's just demonstrate it to you. Here I have a user PNG, so I should give this user PNG address here. So I add here, we should back 2 times, and now we should say assets, and then we are going to user.png. Just check if I said address true. Yes, it's asset and it's user PNG. Then we should add another property. Should be, for example, current photo URL, and it could be this.photo URL, but this time as observable. Then we can subscribe to this. Now we can add our method or function. Let's say function, and we say change photo, and we give it a signature or input, and we call it, for example, photo URL again. It's type of a string, and in this curly process we say this.photo URL, because it's behavior subject, we have ability of next function, and this next function gonna fetch our photo URL to this photo URL. By this line of code, from the other components which have this behavior service, we can call this change photo, and we can change the value of photo URL. So this would be a really nice. So let's just test it in nav component and photo uploader. We change photo in photo uploader component. Then we go to photo uploader component, and we see if we have a method to change photo. Yes, we have set main photo. And if we go to this HTML file, we see this set main photo is set for button, which going to change photo. So if we go to set main photo, we can here call our service. So before anything, we should go to our constructor and initialize our service. We say okay, private behavior service, It's gonna be type of behavior service. Okay, then we back to set main photo. Where was set main photo? Yes, here. And we say this dot behavior service dot we want to change photo, so we say change photo. We have photo URL here, so we say photo dot URL. That's it, that's all. This is about photo uploader. All we have to do is just this code. And now if we want to do more, we should go to nav component. In nav components, we want to change photo too. After changing photo in profile components, we want to listen and changing our photo in nav component too. So in our constructor, we again say our fields should add service here in constructor. We say private behavior service, and it's going to be behavior service. And in a place which is ng underneath, we can listen to if this is changed or not. So we say this that behavior service dot. If you remember, I use current photo URL as observable, so can subscribe to it here. And after all these, we say this photo URL here should be equal to res. This dot photo URL, or better just say photo. This would be photo. So now everything is going to work fine. We want to test our application. So let's just run our code and see what is going on here. Just save file, save all, and we are going to run our project. Right, it's demo time. We are in photo uploader component. This pixstat is photo uploader component, and this is navbar component, and this is member edit component. But we change only on photo uploader and member edit component, so this profile it not should be changed because we don't subscribe to behavior service in member edit, and we will handle it in a second. Don't worry about that. We just see if this navbar is changed or not. We are going to use another picture here. I will upload it here. Wait until it's uploading. Then I'm going to decide which profile is going to use for me. Okay, now if I click on profile, it's going to change navbar component. Okay, now we want to have this behavior in member edit too. So we just back to our code, and in member edit component, we also say private behavior service. is equal to behavior service, and with this behavior service on ng on init, we are going to say this dot behavior service dot current photo URL. It's observable, so we can subscribe to it, and we pass our photo to photo which we have in this component photo URL. So we say photo URL this dot photo URL is equal to photo. So we back to our code and we say if our changes works or not. We go to pics, and if I changing this, yeah, it's going to update everywhere. That's it. That's subject behavior or behavior subject. I know the name is a kind of word, but it's really could be handy.